Heist of the century for Cloud9, getting out of Lotus in one piece. Well, maybe a couple pieces, but with the win, which is what is important. Heading to this next map of Pearl, I mean, this is one of the best maps for Cloud9, whereas Furia now have missed their opportunity to win their ace in the sleeve. They've got to come onto a map where they've really struggled to find something that's worked for them so far.
This is where the match for Furia is going to be a serious uphill battle. Look, we're not going to beat around the bush. It obviously was coming into this anyhow. Cloud9 are looking like one of the best teams that we have in Americas. They're my dark horse pick, and Furia, they're at the bottom of the standings. This was always going to be tough.
They've changed their comp again, so this is the third different composition for Furia on this map. Last time it was Yoru, Teo, Faye. They've gone back to the Jet here. They've also got no scan initiator, whereas Cloud9 have this basically the same composition, right? It's identical. They're double duelist with Zeppa on the Yoru.
And they've been finding a lot of success with it. I love seeing Zeppa able to play duelist again. Now that we're in this meta where double duelist is very relevant. You get Oxy at his best playing the Jet in tandem with him. It is some really lovely stuff that Cloud9 have cooked up here on this map. I'm a big fan.
And honestly, like Zeppa's performance on this Yoru has been really solid. It's the only map that he plays it on. He's reprising some of that, duelist performances here. Feels like this comp gives Cloud9 the opportunity to work kind of both extremities at once. Sometimes like either player could have an op here. They can obviously get off those angles for free. Hard to keep them quiet in general.
Yeah, I mean, Zeppa has been good to the extent that of the 12 players who've played Yoru in Stage 1, in terms of average damage per round, he's at number 2.
Okay.
Which is a crazy stat to look at. He has been no joke on this agent. He's been no joke this year. Zeppa has really come to life on this newest iteration of Cloud9.
Indeed. We are indeed, Legion. Mitch backing away here. Oh god, Havoc wants to take this fight, and the nerve of Mitch breaks, also his clip runs out. Victo's going to be able to trade things back out here, and Cloud9 are not messing around. Khalil, who almost gave us the most ridiculous clutch on that previous map, now has to do it again. Just as unlikely circumstances, and he gives us a little more than we expect.
He's giving Prize a real opportunity. Can he catch this timing?
Yeah, down. A clean one-on-one. Spike to hand here for the Tejo. And Salvo's up the sleeve for Prize. He's trying to get some information, but Zeppa is giving him nothing.
I mean, at this point, Zeppa could be coming from legitimately any angle. Prize has to be so careful. He's so concerned. And at this point, this delay could make Zeppa think that he's actually going over towards B.
Zeppa not second-guessing
30
himself
seconds
yet.
left.
God, this guy has got conviction, man, and it pays off. Plan is going to be over on the A side. Zeppa aware of that now. Shows himself and wins it out. Bro, you really got to believe if you're going to stick on that side like that.
Zeppa was very patient, and it pays off for him. Catches an easy kill, and a weak Prize making the cross. You have to give some credit to Khalil, who was able to wrangle that back when C9 showed some hesitation in triple facing out on him. And he just gets that first clean duel win against Vic. And yeah, there are two players to the side. And they're like, oh wait, now let's double swing. And so it kind of results in that 1 versus 2 for Khalil, but all good. Zeppa already stepping up for the team on their own pick. As C9 look to, again, they are trying to lock up that playoff spot. A win here would do it. And a loss for Furia would essentially send them packing for Stage 1. Not that every match doesn't count. Obviously, they are still playing for the champion points too.
Round 2 outlaw for Oxy, so a very cost-effective way to control the B side of the map in its entirety. Oh, well, that's a quick round for Rafa. Back to Lumbridge with you, sir. Havoc on that corner. Man, it's been a series for him. An important frag to take here. And now Furia, by no means convinced about where they want to hit. There's still a kill trip on the site for Cloud9, so they've got to be wary of being too eager to go A.
Frankly, it's felt like we may have needed to force some positive takeaways from Furia, just given how tragic this year so far has been for them. We don't have to pretend. Havoc is definitely giving us a very strong, very positive takeaway for this team. He has been seriously elite today.
Oxy is positioned in the only safe place he knows he can be, and that's over towards B log. An area of the map that can be covered by these smokes pretty effortlessly. But here comes that plant. Net is going to bide his time. He's really not in position. Needs his tower player to have control of that part of the map. Flash in! Havoc still gets his one. Yeah, unlikely as it may seem. He makes a trade of it. Oxy was able to find, though, that pick on Khalil, and now Furia grouped up in Hall.
Both backside, they do have that judge in Halls. Like that could be enough if C9 try to over-push onto them.
It's a little ambitious.
Last player standing.
Okay, prize is dealt with, and there is heat. No glory with the judge. So Cloud9 convert there and take the Outlaw in the next.
Could have been dangerous for but a moment because of Havoc being one of the best players in the server today, arguably the best right now. Finding that first kill here, headshot.
I
The
think
wall.
it's his flash,
I can't believe he even gets that, yeah, just before being flashed. Pretty sick.
pretty
And
dicey
off
there for
that, they
Oxy.
get the plant, so the cash, pretty good for Furia.
Nice, good
I mean,
round,
importantly, it means that they can afford full armor, right? Because we know what Oxy's bringing into this next round. This is the bonus for Cloud9, in which they've got sort of 2 pistols and that Outlaw that needs to do some serious heavy lifting.
Of course, when you're running this double duelist and both of them have escape mechanisms, C9 can afford to play proactive. They can get forward. You have Zeppa, walking up through art right now as we watch Furia take A main. And the aforementioned Yoru has that gate crash over towards B, so he can go assist net if necessary.
Zeppa is tucked pretty close towards Plaza. Won't really be hearing any of this, though, as I think there's some early warning for Vic. He pulls out.
This is such a cool setup from C9. Look at Net. He has that cam for Link. He has the trips for Long. And now that the gate crash has expired, Zeppa can't get to him, but Mitch has gone closer to assist towards Link. The majority of the C9 players can keep that presence towards A. They're really dynamic with this comp. Love how they play the defensive side of this map.
Havoc just dinks there by a ghost. Yeah, he's down to 63 after that. So back towards Plaza. Pings here on Art. This is about to get a little bit hairy.
Yeah, Furia have really taken all this time just to insert Havoc over into A main. Now they have to fully re-clear mid. Oxy posted up on the angle.
No damage.
Wow, none. That's crazy.
Rafa, though, does go low, down to 10. So Oxy's getting some damage. Again, with the escape mechanisms you mentioned, Cloud9 can use that Outlaw for chip damage. Flash is going to slow things up here for Furia. They wanted to get in, but Zeppa wants to take the fight. Havoc's already down. Furia had to go for it. 20 seconds left in the round. Time is of the essence. The Furia know it, but there's not a lot they can do. Down to 2 players. A bonus round for Cloud9 that's about to be famously successful. And there's nothing to do but walk away with your tail between your legs.
Cloud9 players just going to scramble to try and recover some of those dropped rifles. Of course, Vic gets one. He only had the Ghost in this round. They
That could not have gone worse.
They get the economy boost. Furia just playing a slow round where they ultimately don't gain much info whatsoever. They just get A main control. They don't know where Net's setup is. They don't try to prod towards Link, towards B main. And it just results with C9 being able to be essentially fully stacked up towards this A site with multiple crossfires in position to deal with the oncoming hit. Net was never tested. They never had to pull away. It was all too easy for C9, who have now invested into the operator, thrown that over to Oxy.
And a different look now for Cloud9 and heading into this gun round.
And now they're working towards A, where Net has adjusted his setup. Got that kill trip. It's attached to the default site. Stealth drone coming in and broken.
Havoc's on the site, dashing in the cloud burst there. Just gets a little bit scary. Armageddon Mitch has got nowhere to go, folks. Caught inside the grab well. And the end comes for us all. Prize able to find one, but Vic fighting like a heli on the side. What an ace out of nowhere, Vic. Delivers a stunning moment there for the iBuy Power ace. Remember, $100 in right gift card, $100 in iBuy Power rewards for every ace. Follow at iBuy Power on socials, fam. That is absurd.
Where did that come from? Legitimately, where did that come from? Rafa's caught on that trip that Net placed had never been broken. Havoc didn't walk into it earlier, and then Vic just snaps the perfect crosshair placement. Precise on every single angle. He genuinely manifested that out of thin air. That came out of nowhere. I was never expecting anyone to be in position to pop off like that. Vic is such an underrated star in the Americas scene.
Man, coiled like a viper on that side and then struck right in the heart of Furia.
And the bleeding doesn't stop there. Khalil shut down, was trying to prod towards B, and now Furia hit into A.
Oh god, Havoc trying to find something, anything if he can, but unfortunately his confidence isn't backed up.
And they've
by
just
the
had
shots.
the entire C9 team waiting for them there. These unique setups, the trips from Net are really cheeky. They didn't even really need to come into play in this instance. as Furia were just denied at the choke, and Zeppa carefully watching the extremities, aware that he could be lurking through sewer. Cloud9 are just looking perfect. Their game plan as they drew it up is working as imagined. Furia have no answers so far.
This is the danger for Furia. They lack the depth on these other maps. Lotus looks great for them, but they're 0-2 on Pearl, 0-2 on Ascent. They've lost their only game on Fracture. And honestly, they're just not seeing nearly enough from them here. And frankly, Cloud9 are reading him just as well as the previous map. Every round, Furia are walking into the jaws of the beast.
Once you get the operator in Oxy's hands with this Cloud9 composition, the amount of map control that they can have is really absurd. When you can put that op with your Yoru on one side of the map, you can have your Yoru teleport back to where the hit is coming in if it's on the other side of the map, where you're going to have net then with the setup with the trips. Like, it's so easy for them to just control the lanes and have Zeppa be able to float and rotate to wherever the execute is actually going to come in. Furia do not have the answer so far. They tried to prod elsewhere on that previous round. Let's get Khalil in B main. Oh, the op is there, and I just walked into it.
I mean...
Oh, well, let's try and speed up because the op is pushed up there, and you've ran into the stack. Like, that is going to be how Cloud9 will be approaching all of these rounds. Op one side, stack other side, you're cooked either side.
How problematic do you think it is that Furia are playing into a double duelist setup where the op could be on either side of the map and they do not have any
They don't have a Sova. Yeah, no drone.
They have a 0 point.
No, yeah, no recon, no drone, no haunt. It is not a fun time.
I mean, I guess you can force off an angle with the stealth drone. That's it.
Yeah, that's realistically the only tool that you have. And it can obviously cover a lot of distance to get you information towards B main. You can send it, get all the way back pillar from kind of being back in main, which is valuable, but then ultimately you could still have the op playing all the way back towards halls on B, playing towards jump up on B. It's going to be rough for Furia here, man. They're going to have to do a good job of trying to exploit mid. They're going to take A main early out of the timeout. Economy looking very rough. They're fully bought into this.
And mid looking extremely unexploited by Furia right now as they've just played at the back of the map, waiting for a push-up, which, by the way, Cloud9 have not been serving any free kills by over-pushing on these defense side rounds. They just don't do it.
This is a totally different setup from C9. This is pretty cool. They have Zeppa playing off net with the cam here, who's trying to push through the Nebula, take the fight to them and catch his prize, who's over eager to take that space.
How many different setups do they have? Every round has been something new. Furia now try and get in the mid, and they've had to pay dearly for it, a toll to the order of 1 Teho.
Mitch was going to use the recon, but just takes his time instead. The Nebula comes down, and now he's re-clearing A main with the drone. Mitch doesn't see anyone close. Zeppa's still got sewer covered, has a dimensional... Yeah, he can just teleport rather over to B. This
Rafa has a 0 point there. He can throw that holes, at least get something. There's no information there for Furia.
C9 are everywhere. They are everywhere.
They're in the walls. Khalil in the cyber cage, just a messy fight. He's got to take it. Time to throw caution to the wind, Celeste. You let them blow you away. Having chucked low, still no plant, by the way. Khalil, what a fight to take, and he finds himself 3.
Oh my god, and that actually gets him the Cosmic Divide, puts Zeppa in a really uncomfortable situation.
I like the swing location here. No, Havoc falls. Zeppa does not have information. He got a glimpse of Khalil. He saw him. Khalil's going to step up, and Zeppa's going to take a different swing. Does he get a cue? An indication? Sound? Anything? He doesn't need it! Oh, no! 8-0, Zeppa. Luscious locks and devious licks. Takes Cloud9 up to 6.
Khalil is going to be so mad after that. He played that situation so well. The initial first 2 kills, he gets the Cosmic Divide off. Beautiful swing onto Oxy, and he could have killed Zeppa. He had a moment there where Zeppa was not even ready to shoot back. He sidesteps it. Zeppa hasn't even died yet in this half, by the way, at a cool 8-0-0.
Time to jump. Right here.
And now that operator, of course, still in play for Roxy. The money is absurd for C9 and Furia. How many more ideas do you have left?
That feels like might be an early nail in the coffin here. Maybe The first of a couple, at least. That has got to deflate you as a team so much. As a player,
Furia.
They're on the cusp of winning Lotus. They take it to OT. They lose their pick. And now they're going up against this masterclass defense.
They're being dragged out into the town square and being exposed. They're so deep into the playbook, Wyatt. They're at the part where the old games of tic-tac-toe are. There's nothing more. Another slow round. This time, again, that mid-round probe into mid. Cloud9 have a different look on this round, so no one will be set up for this.
And this time, Oxy is just playing at the screen with the AWP. Does he want to actually press forward? It looks like he does. He's going to catch Khalil and enjoy hitting the site with no smokes now as well.
Okay, Null Command comes in and tries he might. Havoc cannot derive any edge. Rafa just a screaming heat there at the start of the round. And this is not a fair fight, folks. It's not. It's an extinction event.
One enemy remaining. 30.
And he's the only player left who is yet to get on the board this game.
He's been trying to catch a lot of timings going for flanks heat, and they've simply not paid off. And it's as you mentioned, they just have nothing to get the operator off of these lines. Oxy is just doing whatever he wants. Oh my god. Okay, well, he gets his first on board. We'll take that. But my god, man. Furia, they feel like, all right, well, Khalil just died. We have no smokes. We just gotta go. Go now. We're close up link.
So they Null Command here. At no point does it really stop them. I mean, that's a dash topside with no smoke to cover tower. You've got no cloudburst to jump into. At that point, you're just seeing what sticks to the wall.
Sure. Did you win? Did you win?
What do you think, folks?
Yeah.
That's a yes.
Yeah.
Oh, be still my beating heart. Mitch, of course, still stellar over this series. A clutch that almost won out the game Lotus prematurely. Here's Havoc again. Like always good for one. Is okay, Mitch, the same spot again.
Oh no, Mitch, no! All right, he's got to stop. That's just not his angle.
Okay.
It's not his angle. Get him out of the sewer.
Give him something a little
out of there, man.
Something a little fresh.
Let him play, I don't know, A main, backside. Maybe play dugout.
Stop trying to cosplay Oscar the Grouch. Now Furia this time can approach the B side from mid. This time they have some control util.
Zeppa, well aware that this flank could be coming in from heat, but he's already circled past him into the site. The map is quite chaotic right now, as Oxy is pushed up all the way B main with Vic, and so
their post plant setup's kind of wrecked here with it.
Yeah, where do they go, man? Where do they go?
Down.
Out into the open. Every part of them being exposed, and Oxy is taking liberties.
I'm turning two-dimensional. I'm becoming flattened.
Paper Mario? Like, what is
This game is flattening.
This guy's in the walls too. At some point, a spike plant needs to be attempted. Vic gave us an incredible ace this game already. Allows himself to be revealed. Rafa has a spike to hand here, Wyatt, but it is looking grim. This whole map has been a stinker! And Zeppa gets us out of that round quick smart.
This is a brutal one, Mitch. You can't beat around. Not gonna beat around the bush. This is a brutal one. Furia came into this game against C9, changing their comp, having nothing to deal with this operator. Oxy has just been running around doing whatever he pleases. Swaps back to the Vandal in this instance. ADS looking like prime yay on Optic.
Let's go!
Thank you for that.
I can aim! I can aim! I can aim! Let's go!
Thank you for the qualifier, of course, on Optic.
That's just when he was always aimed down sight.
Is that subtweeting Mitch, by the way, who obviously has another awkward moment in water?
We forgot about that. I already moved on.
Oh, sorry.
Why'd you have to bring that up?
Well, let me get the clicker out. Yeah, just look into the light, bro. 8-0 in rounds. I mean, it is very difficult, I think, to come at this game from an axis that looks flattering for Furia. Khalil has given us a couple of those moments, and Havoc, while he looks so good in the first kill, first death scenarios in the previous map here, has just not been able to generate any traction. We know that this Furia team have been lightning rods for criticism from their region. And we also saw the hunger from Havoc on that previous map. The grit, the desire to win, and seeing that game wrenched out of their grasp and having to go to their opponent's theoretically best map. I mean, you could have adamantium levels of grit and still struggle. For Furia, they need to have a crack at this.
Having to be the entry man in this situation, though, against this beautiful defensive play from C9.
And there's no ways for Furia to get easy information, Wyatt. There's so little. 0 Point does it. Stealth Drone does it. That's
Even
it.
at that, Oxy is beating the pace on that 0 Point. They've gotten a main control. Furia have nothing to play with in terms of the ults outside of, well, he does have that Steel Garden. And C9, you know, they're up 8-0 when they have all 5 ults. So they are just in a pretty fairly decent position to win out this half. And
Was that flash short?
I was get out the memory wipe and I don't need to see that one again. I don't want to remember.
Okay, another slow round for Furia. These ones have kind of collapsed. They're going to have to go for a big pop. No, the Astra Star there could be a problem. Another 0 Point refresh. This should be all Furia need to know, and they still want to go for it. Arclo's got cleared, and there's Rapper. Burst into action. Big down. Blade Storm out for Roxy. They look a little blunt here. So Furia with some momentum. Zeppa's now got in position over on the side, avoiding the Hunter's Fury. He
Mitch.
also picked off.
Oh, wow, he's actually just going to pop that dimensional drift. Mitch still has that recon to play with as well as Furia get in here. Can maybe get a spam kill through the smoke. Here it comes. Prize trying to get the spike planted on Default, and he's lit. Oh, beautiful.
Shoot the darts! That's what Scan Util offers you. Still a plants there for Furia. I mean, Khalil not really in a position to intervene directly.
Oh, Havoc crosses and he takes some damage there as well as C9 are doubled up. Neural Theft popped.
More information. Now, it's a matter of time. Khalil just couldn't deal with Net on the swing, and here is a tap already. Net tapping to challenge Havoc. They got it to half, and they'll clean him up. Maybe the closest that Furia have gotten on this attack side to getting around, and it still wasn't convincing.
They were just able to dismantle that forward position on A from C9. There was that uncomfortable timing where Oxy wanted to get the Blade Storm activated after that Steel Garden was used, but he's just caught before he can actually even really get a good shot off with the knives. And yeah, you could see that whole time in Flowers. Mitch is just waiting.
That dart is devastating.
Waiting. Okay, they're planting. The recon, free spam kill. It is beyond effortless for Cloud9. It is perfection, Mitch.
Yeah, in fact, they're actually gaining energy. This is calorically negative for them. It's like eating celery. Mad respect. Okay. Should be a push-up here pretty close for Roxy. Slightly awkward, but hey, he's good for it. Havoc just smashed both duelists here on the B side. Well, they do as they are intended to.
Well, minute 20 on the clock. Furia, they are going to try and explore over towards Art, where Net's cam is just going to say hello.
Yeah, just camming.
Watching.
And he doesn't feel the need to put it away. And no need for an emergency meeting for Cloud9 here. They're quite happy with where they're set up. Heater's always been looking for this lurk timing. 1 and 8. Just, man, it's a stinker for him. It's been so difficult.
The real story arc for me is if Mitch can get back into sewer and find redemption. One last time. Get
say
in
that
there,
to me
buddy.
again without context.
Get in
Without context, that's a very interesting thing to say. Yes. Yes, my comeuppance is through the manhole cover. Okay, here we go.
Oh my God. I mean, Zeppa is teleported over this. 30 seconds, guys.
I think they're
in trouble. Yeah. C9, they have more players than you on this site and your scan.
Wow.
So,
Scan Util pretty good in the game of Valorant. Prize here tucked in this corner. Okay. Cosmic Divide going to be popped here.
Player standing.
It's going to be a trade. It's going to be up to Rafa. Okay, he's at least able to throw a fragment to delay. An early defuse. But now reposition, try and flash himself through. Little shoulder peek revealed his position though. And he can't hear the spike defuse, so we can only guess at this stage. And Oxy just, well, eliminates the guesswork for him. That is 10 rounds in a row for Cloud9. Furia. They're barely here, folks.
I don't want to know what the state of MW is right now if he's streaming this. I don't even want to know. And, you know, this takes us back to the importance of Lotus when we were discussing that earlier.
Ah, yes.
Our
Such
point proven
is the
right.
way this map is going that we must now discuss the prior map in more detail.
The last one, as important as advertised, I think.
Yeah. We are really throwing back to the glory days of
just
Furia in the previous game.
Remember when Havoc had 27 kills, 11 first bloods? Those were the days. 2:50 p.m.
Gone too, yeah.
About
Gone too soon.
30 minutes ago.
Yep. Okay, 10 rounds here for C9. Operator now in hand for Roxy, and has been happy. There was a pretty hard push down that B main that he dealt with in the previous round. Now Furia want to go A. No resistance for them early. A couple players embedded on that A side though for Cloud9.
Looks like we may be keeping this simple for the side of Furia. We have Havoc in there.
Null command.
And the rest of the guys go ahead and get on in there too. Try and get some control of Dugout and Secret. We're going forward. We got the spike down. We're in a 5-on-5. Hold on. We're up. Now we just need to convert this.
Ruff is down to half health though. All said and done.
They have multiple players in A main. So when this shear wall gets triggered, if anyone does try and flank around, they've got the info. They'll be ready.
Okay. Cosmic Divide now deployed by Khalil. Now has to step up with very little information and doesn't feel like he can wait for the players to come in from that A main side. Gonna get busy. Mitch with the operator deals with Khalil, and in your face, Zeppa gets. It's gonna be a 1-for-1. 3 left here for Fury now. Cloud9 starting to accelerate. Ruffer on the other side of that wall. Will be sat on the site. Eventually, Vic's gonna test him, and he wins it out. 20 health in a dream. Oxy getting it to half now, and surely of all rounds, Fury would get there. But Cloud9 are the avalanche on Chad Mountain, inevitably hitting this A site.
Last round before
Yeah, C9 teams, I would investigate whether or not you have intentions of picking or panning or floating Pearl against Cloud9, or intentions of playing them before the map gets rotated out of the pool. I would investigate that as well. Doesn't seem particularly fun. They seem pretty all right here.
Yes,
I'm gonna be honest. They seem pretty decent. I don't know.
It's absurd how the attack side looks. The playbook is so deep. There's so many options for them. Furia never went into a identical setup. Last round of the half. Last chance for Fury to get an attack round on Pearl. God, what a difference this has been between those two maps.
Oh my god, C9 there to stack up in this smoke, ready to take a fight to them. But Khalil, he actually finds that first. Zeppa couldn't teleport away. He's been suppressed.
Flash comes in. Zeppa has the tuck, but can't win it out.
They've
and
done
here
it.
it is. They've done it.
They've done it, folks. They've done it. There's no 13-0. Well, hold on. Let's make sure they do it for real. Let's pause for a second.
Nobody wins 12 rounds in a row against us.
player standing.
It's up to Roxy. A casual 13-5 for the map. He will allow this round to pass, and a flawless round for Furia as we head into our half-time break. And there's so much to ruminate on here for the Brazilian side.
Hopefully we get maybe an extra minute at this halftime break so we can really cook up some way to sell the second half of this game, because at the moment, I got nothing. Okay. I don't have a thing. I mean, this is just C9 at their peak, dominant on what very well may be their best map, en route to make it into playoffs if they can just get 2 more rounds.
So it feels like it is so close, Cloud9, to securing some post-stage play. Stick around, of course, for what will surely be the conclusion of this Pearl map on the other side of these messages.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Hands up, look to the sky, cause we got enough to survive. Good times, man, we alive. That time I take is all mine. Top spot, taking control. Ain't no stopping me, I'm on a roll. New age prodigy, I got it all. Come for the ride, we about to let it go. We going up, up. Yeah, look at us, us. We here for the rush, rush. Yeah, we going up, up. We going up, up. Yeah, look at us, us. We here for the rush, rush. Yeah, we going up, up.
So we had some time to consider what you would be looking at for Furia in order for them to get into the game. And wait for it.
You got something?
You'd love this. I've been cooking. Step 1 is win the pistol. All right, got that out of the way. We know that's the case.
That's an obvious one.
Step 2 is Havoc needs to reprise that insane first kill, first death run that we saw on Lotus. and then Furia need to convert on those 5v4s. That's a lot. Like, I would say that, you know...
Honestly, I don't think you offered enough. I
Okay,
think
well...
you might need to sell me further, but I haven't
they
bought
need
it
to,
yet.
They need to take prize. They need to climb up to Mount Doom and throw him in to try and appease the Dark Gods, to empower them to win this series, or to manifest the Shadow Aspas out of thin air.
That might
come
get
in
them
and win the game for them.
That might get them 6.
Okay, you know what? That's all I got.
This is...
You're the analyst, bro. All right? You're the analyst.
Don't lean on me for this. I need to phone a friend. Many friends. I don't have enough friends to phone to figure out how Furia are going to get back into this game, man. This is just pretty brutal from the C9 side, who looked legitimately perfect. Again, everything they threw up coming into this game has worked exactly as intended. Now it's just a matter of closing it out on attack. Getting into playoffs, Oxy almost catching Khalil straight away. Wants to capitalize, take advantage of the dash.
Havoc had an opportunity there, but Cloud9 have all walked up onto the A side now. He has, I guess, the element of surprise, but I don't think Cloud9 have been shocked by anything they've seen from Fury this game yet. And they're ahead of this util. Oh, they're so far ahead of it! Clams to the slaughter. Yet another extinction event plays out right before your very eyes. Did he just double his frags for the game?
Mitch, the only C9 player having a tough time in this game. Poor God, man. I need one Mitch highlight on round 14 before we're out of here.
Did Havoc just pause before shooting Oxy to really savor that moment? Behave. Behave! 3 kills, Pistol 1, Cloud9, 1 round away. Getting this over with.
Casual, easy, effortless, etc., etc. More synonyms here.
Okay.
Insert as many as you please. Cloud9 team.
Bam.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. Playing ahead of the util, pushing right up to Flowers. Just not allowing any breathing space there for Furia. And I mean, Oxy did that straight off the rip. He sees Khalil's low, he just says, I'm going for this.
At least we have some nice...
A funeral dirge for Furia. I would have thought, like, you know, what are the River Runs song, that nice little piano? I would have gone with that.
There was a tint of melancholy
yes.
in that track, which I do appreciate for this moment.
River Runs in Spring, is that what it was? I don't know. Doesn't matter.
And net immediate entry, and Raph, it's time to pick up the Marshall and go for round 2. Wouldn't advise the Stinger at that range, personally.
Didn't quite cut it. Clone, Aldrone, all going in to clear the way. Beat now wants to interact with that. We have Cloud9 here still waiting. Heavy Astra util thrown down on the B side of the map, and they're going to see if they can tease something out of Furia. Find the thread to unravel the sweater.
They're happy to just pause for a second, let that utility go away, and now Oxy going to dash in with the judge. Oh no, no heat.
Oxy really forcing it. The issue there, he still gets his. It doesn't have to be clean or pretty for Cloud9. It just has to get the job done. And Khalil has been in this situation for the umpteenth time in this game, and it never feels any better, folks. An utter demolishment there of Furia. A relaxing end to the series if you're a Cloud9 fan, as you know your team have just secured their spot in our Stage 1 playoffs.
If you're playing against C9 next week, maybe the week after, maybe in playoffs, if you're thinking about playing Pearl, floating Pearl, just don't do that. Don't do either of those. You don't really want to be playing this map against Cloud9. This double duelist look, the way that they play defense, the number of different setups that we saw in that half was insane.
Yes.
I mean, the strat book would break the damn table in half if Imi plopped it down, man.
Quite the lengthy tome.
That was some wonderful play from Cloud9. Furia had no answers. Respect to them for that attempt at getting the win on Lotus, but this C9 team are too good right now. Serious sleeper build on these guys. They have come in picking up some of the really strong, I think to some extent maybe underrated players in Challengers, and have put together a squad that are poised to go on a major run in Stage 1 with a real shot at getting to Masters Toronto.
It's got to be vindicating for, you know, Net coming onto this team and Mitch reprising a previous role on this roster.